you can always use past or your histories in making your future crops more successful. Know what you've had in the past and learn from that so that none of these become surprises in the future. And what we want to do, of course, is to be proactive versus reactive on all these things when we're in the mode of protecting yield. The biggest thing would be variety selection. You can use what you've encountered in the past to select the varieties that are going to give you the best position for success. Too often I run across producers and I'll ask you, what are you growing as we're discussing their production? And they'll say, well, I'm not quite sure, or whatever their seed person had. And I challenge a lot of producers, identify, take the time what it is you want this variety to do, and then go get it. And it might mean you have to go a little bit further. It might mean you're going across the state border, but you are then putting the best genetics on your field, and you're going to get a better chance at the results that you're looking for. The second one that I think that I would be looking at a lot more is attention to detail. Yield is being determined in wheat very, very early, earlier than we can ever see it. Know what's happening out in that field, which means getting out there very often and seeing it. And I know how valuable time is and how many other places are to be, but there's 15 different crop stages as this wheat plant is growing. The number 3 on my list is growth staging, and that comes down to understanding what is happening to the plant and what stage it's in. And by doing that, we can then micromanage our inputs and get the best results from them. But also, we can determine when yield is being made and also the environmental effects on that plant when it takes place. If we're going to add nitrogen, when we should do our weed control or any of our integrated pest management, if aphids, for instance, are out there, but also the biology of those pests and how they match up with the growth staging of our wheat. Integrated pest management has become very, very important, and I like to say that it's something we need to be on top of. It's attention to detail and being on the front side of that early detection. Previous crop and crop rotations are always going to be a big part because some of these diseases, some of these insects, and certainly the weed pressures are going to carry over from year to year. And so we can use previous year's production to help guide us and help us manage some of those things in the current year and future years. Also having a good understanding of the fertility, both past, present, and what you want it to be in the future. If you're building your fertility, if you're maintaining it with small grains or wheat in particular, you've got to manage closely the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium, the sulfur, and making sure that there's enough there at the critical growth stages for those crops.
Visit cropscience.bayer.us/learning center to learn more about how additional best management practices can help wheat growers secure the best yields and return on investment.